Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, thank you for clicking. Today, eXtremerate have sent us another product out, but when they've sent this one, it actually hasn't got any English. So for the purpose of the video, I'm going to call this the front-facing Clicky kit. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give you digital buttons on the front. So at the moment, when you press these, they're really quiet. Your D-pad, your directional pad, if you press up, down, left and right, you can't hear it. But when you fit this kit, you will. It'll be like a clicky sort of noise. The way these work is they've got a tiny little rubber conductor behind them. When you press these, they make contact with the board behind. These ones have got a little bit noise, but not very much. We'll just call these the symbol buttons. Now, on a previous video, I did fit digital triggers. So what these do is your L2 and R2, when you press these, that's as far as they go down. So if you're playing a shooting game, you can shoot much faster. And these two, L1 and R1, if I can compare the noise, you see these are more clicky, and that's the way these work. So obviously the travel on this one goes all the way down because it's a standard one, and that one, that's as far as it goes. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, this is going to be a pretty simple install for you. It'll probably take you maybe 15 minutes, but if you're new, I'll say about half an hour. Just take your time, be really careful. Now the same thing I'm always going to do, I'm going to show you what you get inside the box, and then we're just going to go straight to the install. But at the moment, I've got 4 staples in here. I'm going to quickly remove them and I'll be back. Let's see what we'll get inside here. So these little things are just to replace the conductor rubbers, what I did mention. They're just tiny little things what you put in just so you can press the buttons. Inside this little bag, you get your splicing tool, what you always get, and a little screwdriver, and you've got some spare screws, which you won't need. You've got your 1-year warranty card, which you get with all eXtremerate products. And inside here is just your new little board, what you're going to be using. So I'll take this out, show you it. That's what it looks like. These are the buttons that I mentioned. I might actually be able to, yeah, I can press them. So they're your buttons, what I'm going to be changing this for. I'm going to tidy this up and then we're going to get straight to the install. That's me all set up. I'm ready to go. I've got the control pad, I've got my splicing tool, I've got my own screwdriver. I've took 4 of the little parts. There's different ones. There's some that are really small. These I'm presuming are for your directional, and these other ones are for your symbol buttons. So the symbol buttons are the bigger ones and the tiny ones are for the directional. I'm just going to put them over there. I've got my board over here. You do get spares of these inside the bag, but obviously you won't need them, so I'll just put them to one side. Now the first thing that you want to do on this is remove this part of the control pad. Now the way I like to do it is just come from this side, put your little splicing tool in the corner here, push down, and then that will lift up this corner. And then same to this side, just get your splicing tool, just put it in there. You don't have to be super hard, just put it in and it'll come out. And then if this hasn't popped off along here, just get your splicing tool, just put it in here and you'll see it crack, and then that's pretty much it, it's off. So just lift that up, and then that just lifts over your analog sticks like so, and then just put this to one side. Now what you want to do is remove R1 and L1. The way I like to do this is just put this splicing tool underneath and just lift up. Keep your finger on here because these do fly up. There you go, and then I'm just going to lift that off, put it to one side. Same with this one, just put your finger on it just so it doesn't fly. It might hit you in the eye or something, so that one's out. Now all you want to do is just remove a few screws. You've got 2 on the top. I'll show you a little bit better if I point. You've got 1 here and 1 over here, and then if I turn this round to the bottom, you've got 1 down here and then 1 over there. Now I'm going to quickly remove these. Once the screws are removed, now all you want to do is there's 2 tiny little tabs, 1 here and 1 here. Now what I like to do is just put me splicing tool underneath 1 tab and then put it underneath the next one, and then that should loosen the board. Now all you want to do is just work your way around the board like that, and then that should loosen it, and now that should be enough to disconnect the board totally. So there, that'll come off, and then this just lifts straight over just like so, nothing to that. And then what you want to do is remove the battery. Now the way you can do it is just put your thumb here and just lift it up and the battery will come straight up. Now to disconnect the battery, all you do is just gently remove it from its little connector down here and then put the battery to one side. There's a little screw on the battery holding cover which is there, so I'll quickly remove that. I've unscrewed this screw, but I've just left it in because I'm going to lift this all over. Now what you want to do is a little connector down here, little orange one. All you want to do is just get your splicing tool, put that on there, and just lift up from here, and then that'll disconnect that. And then you can move the battery holding case or whatever it's called. Just put this to one side, and like I say, I've left the screw in. You can take it out if you want. Next thing what you want to do is remove this ribbon cable, remove this one over here, and down here, and then last but not least there's one up here. Now this one is a really tricky one. I'm going to use tweezers to remove them. If you bear with us a second, I'm just going to grab some tweezers. I've got my trustworthy tweezers. I might actually be able to get this a little bit closer and zoom in a little bit better. So this one down here, I'm just going to go like that. That one comes straight out. And then this one here, straight out. And this one over here, you can just do these with your fingers if you want. These ones are pretty easy. It's just these ones that are the tricky ones. So I'm going to put that on there. Do you know what? It came out really easy that time. Sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. Next thing what you want to do is you've got a screw down here and you've got another one over here. So we'll quickly remove them. Once them two screws are removed, all you want to do is just lift this green board. Now the way you can do it is you've got a little tiny tab on the left hand side there, and you've got a one to the right hand side of the battery connector. If you just get your splicing tool and you press on it a little bit, you can see this side of the board's lifted up, and then if you go on that one and you just press, and the board will totally lift up just like that. Now there's two screws that are hidden behind here. There's a one over here, a silver one, and there's a one over here, silver. So I'm going to remove them and be back. Once you've removed these two screws, all you want to do now is just lift this whole thing off. So this ribbon cable is obviously going to go through this little hole. So I'm just going to lift it up and make sure it does. There you go, it's through that hole. And then we'll just put this to one side. Now I'm going to focus on removing this little bit here. So I'm just going to get my tweezers. Lift that off. Hopefully you've seen that. I've just pushed that here. And then to remove the front, these just pop straight off. So what angle can I do? Should I just do these with my finger? No, I'll tell you what, I'll just do it with this. These just literally lift off. That's all they do. Then that just lifts out. It's just as easy as that. And then we're just going to replace this one with a new one. So if I grab this new one, and that little bit there actually goes through the slot there. I don't know if you can see, but there is a slot here. Just push that through there. You know what? If you look carefully, here, 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 and here is where it connects to. So go through the little slot. Make sure that lines up. Is that lining up? Yeah. And then push that one on there. That one's on. And then that one on there. That's all these do. They just push on. Don't have to do anything fancy. That's it. And now with that side on, we're just going to focus on this side. So if you can see that little cable here, so this wants to go on them two little teeth. Not sure what's going to be the best way. I'm just going to try the way I think. That side's on, and so is that side. So that's all you do. You just push that on. Hopefully you can see that. Now what you want to do is just quickly close this, and this hole, that ribbon cable is going to come through it again, but we're going to obviously do the buttons now. So push that over, make sure everything's okay. Yeah, press that down. Everything looks good to me. Yeah. So like I say, the front, that's what that looks like. And if I press, you can hear what them buttons sound like. So put this to one side and we're going to focus on that. Once you get to the front, you just want to remove these. Take the little D-pad out. And inside the D-pad, you've got these little holes, what you're going to fill with the oblong shaped ones. So these, just going to press in. There you go, that one's in. You can see one's in. That one's in. And that one is in. And then last but not least, there we go, they're all in. Just make sure they're pressed in. Yeah. And then just put that button back in. Then remove this rubber. This is your conductor, what I was talking about. And if you want, rather than taking all these buttons out, you can probably just get away with putting these in. So wait there, see if we can. Can you? Yep, it works. So you don't even have to take these buttons out. I mean, everyone should know where these buttons go anyways. Triangle top, X bottom, square left, circle right. Make sure that one's pressed in. Make sure they're all pressed in. Yeah, and that's what it should look like. So I didn't even remove them. You can remove them if you want, but I haven't bothered. Now this little ribbon, I can't even speak properly the day. This little ribbon cable, yeah, just bend that round a little touch because you don't want to get that stuck in the board. Now what we're going to do is put this back in, and like I mentioned, this ribbon cable up here, just bend it a little bit if you go up. So I'm going to bend that a little bit up so it goes straight in. We're going to line that hole up and make sure that goes through. There we go, straight through. Don't know if you can see that, but it has gone straight through. And this one will grab with the tweezers. We'll just pull it round, and then that'll do. That's looking good to me. Yeah, everything looks fine to me. I nearly messed up there. I was going to say put these ribbon cables in, but don't put them in. What you want to do now is lift this board up, press these tabs, and put them 2 silver screws back in here. So I'll quickly put them in. Once you've fitted them 2 screws, now you can put the board down and you can put all your ribbon cables back in. This one here has gone underneath again, so I'm going to grab my tweezers and I'm just going to free it. So get my tweezers and just lift that one round like so, and put it down. Since that one's been the awkward one, I'm going to put that one in first. Just pushes straight in. Make sure these are all lined up when you do put them in, and then I'm going to put this one in. Then we're going to put this one over here in. Last but not least, this top one. I might actually be better off with tweezers most of the time when I do it, but that one's in. Now what you want to do is, them 2 screws that you removed earlier, just put them ones back in. Once them 2 screws are back in, now all you want to do is just put the battery cover back on. Obviously the screw is still in there, so I'm just going to place this on top. Make sure to get this ribbon cable round, don't squash it, and then there you go, that's all you do. Now you've got to put this screw in, but quickly I'm going to, if you can see on here, I'm just going to lift this up and then push it under. So there, that's in place. And like I say, put this screw in. Once this screw's in, all you want to do now is just put the battery in. So the battery just goes in that way. Connector first. Connectors in and then push that under. And then that's us pretty much done. Just double check everything, have a good look, make sure you've got all your ribbon cables lined up and everything. And then you want to, where the hell is my back case? I've got it, this back case just wants to go over and then goes down. Just have a look at it and then just press it into place. You're not going to break anything, just make sure it's pressed in. It'll make a click. Just look round, everything looks good. And if it does, all you want to do is put your screws back in. Obviously there, and there, which I'm going to do now. All my screws are in place, I've put them all in. Now if you want, you can have a little bit play about and press these buttons, but I'm just going to leave it a second. Just make sure that's fine, that ribbon cable. Now what you want to do is just put L1 and R1 back in. All you do is just place it on top, press it down. Same with this, place it on top, press it down. Now this might take you a couple of attempts, or you might get it first time. All you want to do is just put it on a bit of an angle there. If I can get it on the right angle. And then just press up like that. And then these go over. So I'm going to lift up, go over. Same with this side. I'm going to lift up, go over. Press that into place. And then everything looks good. Now the moment of truth. Wow, they feel really different. They're really clicky this time. If I do a comparison, you just can't hear these other ones. And the same with these. Just can't hear them. Super duper quiet. Hopefully they are picking up on the video. Thank you for watching. If you do get stuck with anything, just drop us a message and I'll get straight back to you.